What happens when someone spends decades putting family first only to realize it's finally time to choose themselves? For years, Sister Wives viewers watched Janelle Brown navigate one of the most complicated relationships in reality television. She was often seen as calm, practical, and focused on keeping the family together, even during the most difficult moments. While emotions sometimes ran high around her, Janelle usually approached challenges with patience and logic. But as fans have seen over the last several seasons, even the strongest foundations can eventually crack. Now, many viewers believe Janelle has entered the chapter she's been waiting for all along. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at Janelle Brown's remarkable journey, how her life has changed since the end of her spiritual marriage with Kody Brown, and why fans believe the Brown family has entered a completely new era. We'll also discuss how these changes have affected Kody and Robyn Brown, examine the latest public updates, and explore what could come next for everyone involved. Before we begin, if you enjoy Sister Wives news, updates, and thoughtful commentary, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a future upload. Now let's get started. When Sister Wives first premiered, the Brown family presented themselves as a united plural family with a shared vision of faith, commitment, and cooperation. Viewers watched Kody Brown, his wives, and their children build a life that they hoped would challenge public misconceptions about plural marriage. At first, there was a sense of optimism. The family spoke about teamwork, mutual respect, and creating opportunities for their children. But as the years passed, audiences began noticing growing differences in how each relationship functioned. While Christine Brown often expressed her emotional struggles openly, Janelle usually kept her feelings private. She focused on work, supported her children, and frequently tried to avoid unnecessary conflict. That quiet approach led many viewers to see her as one of the most level-headed members of the family. However, staying calm didn't mean everything was fine. Over time, several issues became impossible to ignore. Family disagreements became more frequent, communication appeared to break down, and decisions that once seemed collaborative increasingly became sources of frustration. The move to Flagstaff, changing living arrangements, and disagreements over family priorities all added new layers of tension. Many fans felt that Janelle was carrying an enormous emotional burden while trying to maintain stability for herself and her children. Then came one of the biggest turning points. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Brown family's different approaches to safety and household rules became a major source of conflict. The disagreements weren't simply about health precautions, they also highlighted deeper issues involving communication, trust, and expectations. Viewers watched as relationships within the family became increasingly strained. Conversations that once focused on finding solutions often turned into disagreements about loyalty, respect, and fairness. For Janelle, these challenges seemed to force important questions. Was the relationship still working? Could the family continue moving forward together? And perhaps most importantly, was everyone being treated equally? Those questions resonated with many fans who had followed the family for more than a decade. As the seasons continued, it became increasingly clear that Janelle was evaluating what she truly wanted for her future. Unlike dramatic television moments filled with shouting or confrontation, many of Janelle's biggest decisions appeared to happen quietly. She wasn't known for making emotional declarations. Instead, she carefully considered her options before speaking publicly. That steady approach became one of the reasons so many viewers respected her. Rather than reacting in the heat of the moment, she often reflected on situations before explaining how she felt. Eventually, the direction of her life became impossible to ignore. The relationship between Janelle and Kody continued to change, and by the time public updates confirmed that they had separated, many longtime viewers weren't entirely surprised. Still, the announcement marked the end of an era. For decades, Janelle had been one of the central figures in the Brown family's story. Her decision to move forward independently represented far more than the end of a relationship. It symbolized a major personal transformation. Since then, fans have noticed a different side of Janelle. Social media updates, public appearances, and interviews have painted the picture of someone embracing greater independence. She has continued traveling, spending time with family, focusing on her health, and pursuing business opportunities that reflect her own interests. Many supporters say she appears more relaxed, more confident, and more willing to prioritize her own happiness. That doesn't mean every challenge has disappeared. Ending a decades-long relationship is never simple, especially when children, extended family connections, and years of shared history remain part of everyday life. Even after separation, family milestones still bring everyone into each other's orbit. Birthdays, grandchildren, special celebrations. Life continues moving forward even when relationships change. One aspect of Janelle's journey that continues to resonate with fans is her close relationship with her children. Throughout the series, viewers often saw how deeply committed she was to supporting them, encouraging independence, and maintaining strong family bonds. As her children grew older and built families of their own, that connection appeared to become even stronger. Many fans believe those relationships have become one of the greatest sources of strength during this new chapter. Of course, whenever major developments happen within the Brown family, attention quickly turns toward Kody Brown. Over the years, Kody has publicly shared his own perspective on the breakdown of several family relationships. His comments have sparked significant discussion among viewers, with some agreeing with his viewpoint while others strongly disagree. As multiple marriages came to an end, audiences naturally began asking whether the original vision of the Brown family could ever return. At this point, many believe the chapter has permanently closed. Instead of trying to rebuild the family structure that once existed, each adult appears focused on creating a different future. Christine Brown has continued building her new life after marriage. Meri Brown has spoken openly about moving forward and discovering new opportunities. And Janelle Brown seems determined to define success on her own terms. For longtime viewers, watching these parallel journeys has become one of the most compelling parts of Sister Wives. The story is no longer only about plural marriage. It's also about personal growth, resilience, healing, and finding happiness after major life changes. That evolution has completely transformed the series. Rather than asking whether the Brown family can reunite, many fans are now asking a different question. What does happiness actually look like for each member of the family? For Janelle, the answer seems increasingly clear. She appears focused on peace instead of conflict, freedom instead of constant compromise, and building a future based on her own priorities. Yet while Janelle moves confidently into this next chapter, another question continues capturing viewers' attention. How have these dramatic family changes affected Kody Brown and Robyn Brown? With the original family dynamic changing so dramatically, many fans believe both Kody and Robyn are facing a reality they never expected. Their public comments, changing family relationships, and the ongoing evolution of the Brown family have all fueled new conversations across the Sister Wives community. And that's exactly where the story becomes even more interesting. As Janelle Brown embraced a fresh start, attention naturally shifted to the two people viewers have debated more than anyone else over the last several years, Kody Brown and Robyn Brown. For longtime Sister Wives fans, one question has become impossible to ignore. What happens when the family structure that existed for decades changes almost completely? Years ago, Kody was balancing relationships with multiple wives while trying to maintain one large, connected family. Today, that picture looks dramatically different. Christine has moved on with her own life, Janelle has chosen a new path, and Meri has also stepped away from the marriage they once shared. That leaves Kody and Robyn navigating a reality unlike anything viewers saw during the show's early seasons. Whether fans support them or criticize their decisions, there's no denying that the family dynamic has changed in ways few expected when Sister Wives first premiered. One of the biggest talking points among viewers has been how different Kody's life appears today compared to the earlier seasons. Back then, the series often focused on family gatherings, shared celebrations, holidays, and the challenges of coordinating such a large household. While disagreements certainly existed, there was still an image of one extended family trying to stay connected. Now, those scenes have become much less common. Instead of one united household, viewers have watched each branch of the Brown family build its own independent future. That transformation has led many fans to ask whether the original dream of one big plural family can ever truly return. Based on everything that's happened publicly over the past few years, many believe that chapter has closed for good. For Robyn Brown, the changes have also been significant. Since joining the family, Robyn has often been one of the most talked about figures on the show. Some viewers sympathize with her position, believing she became part of an already complicated family situation. Others argue that her relationship with Kody changed the balance within the family and contributed to growing divisions. Those different opinions continue to fuel conversations across the Sister Wives fan community. No matter which perspective someone has, one thing is clear. Robyn remains at the center of many discussions whenever new episodes air or new interviews are released. As the family structure shifted, viewers became increasingly interested in how she and Kody would adapt to life without the larger plural family they once described as their shared goal. Another topic that continues to generate discussion is communication. Throughout recent seasons, fans watched difficult conversations unfold between Kody and several members of the family. Many disagreements weren't simply about one specific event. Instead, they reflected years of unresolved emotions, different expectations, and changing priorities. Janelle often emphasized practical solutions and independence. Kody frequently spoke about loyalty, commitment, and respect. Those different perspectives sometimes made meaningful conversations extremely difficult. Viewers watched both sides explain their feelings, yet many discussions ended without the resolution anyone hoped for. That emotional distance gradually became one of the defining themes of the series. Many fans also point to the changing relationships between Kody and his adult children as one of the biggest developments in recent years. As the children grew older, started careers, got married, and welcomed children of their own, they naturally built lives independent of the original family home. At the same time, public conversations revealed that not every relationship remained as close as it once had been. Different family members have shared different perspectives about those changes, reminding viewers that every family experiences challenges differently. While audiences often debate who's right or wrong, the reality is that these relationships are deeply personal and involve many experiences the public never fully sees. For Janelle, however, this new chapter appears to be centered on something very different. Rather than looking backward, she seems focused on building the future she wants. Supporters frequently comment that she appears happier during public appearances and social media updates. Many describe her as more confident, more independent, more willing to invest time in herself instead of trying to solve everyone's problems. After spending years putting family responsibilities first, fans believe she's finally allowing herself to explore opportunities that reflect her own goals. That shift has become one of the biggest reasons viewers continue following her journey. Another noticeable change is how often Janelle shares moments with her children and grandchildren. Family celebrations, travel, holidays, and everyday milestones have become an important part of the next chapter in her life. For many fans, those moments represent something deeper than simple photographs. They symbolize stability, connection, and the ability to enjoy life without constant conflict. That doesn't mean every relationship has been repaired or every disagreement has disappeared. Like many families, the Browns continue navigating complicated dynamics, but viewers often say Janelle appears determined not to let those challenges define her future. Meanwhile, conversations surrounding Kody and Robyn continue evolving. Every interview, preview, or episode tends to spark thousands of reactions online. Some fans believe Kody has reflected on mistakes made over the years. Others feel significant issues remain unresolved. Likewise, opinions about Robyn remain deeply divided. Supporters argue she has unfairly received blame for problems that developed long before she joined the family. Critics believe her relationship with Kody changed the family in ways that could never be reversed. Those opposing viewpoints are likely to remain part of the Sister Wives conversation for years to come. One reason the series continues attracting viewers is that every person watching brings a different perspective. Some people focus on relationships, others focus on parenting. Others are interested in how the family adapted after leaving their original religious community. Still, others simply want to see how each member builds a new life after so many dramatic changes. That variety of perspectives has helped keep the show relevant even as its central story has evolved. The series today is very different from the one audiences first discovered years ago. Instead of documenting the growth of one plural family, it now follows multiple individuals finding their own paths. In many ways, that transformation has created an entirely new story. Of course, no discussion about the Brown family would be complete without mentioning the fans. The Sister Wives audience remains one of the most passionate communities in reality television. Every trailer, every interview, every podcast appearance, every social media post quickly becomes the subject of detailed analysis. Viewers compare old episodes with new ones, discuss body language, revisit past conversations, and debate how relationships have changed over time. That constant discussion keeps interest in the series alive even between seasons. And it ensures that every new update receives enormous attention. As for Janelle Brown, many believe she's entering one of the happiest periods of her adult life. Instead of defining herself by the end of a marriage, she's focusing on what comes next: personal growth, family, travel, business opportunities, and creating a lifestyle that reflects the person she has become. For longtime fans who watched her quietly support everyone else for so many years, that transformation feels especially meaningful. But just when it seemed the biggest surprises were already behind the Brown family, new conversations began emerging about what the future of Sister Wives itself could look like. Could the show continue evolving around the independent lives of Christine, Janelle, Meri, Kody, and Robyn? Would future seasons focus even more on their separate journeys instead of one shared household? And could those changing storylines actually make the series more compelling than ever before? Those questions have sparked endless debate among fans. At this point, one thing has become clear. The conversation surrounding the Brown family is no longer centered on whether the past can be repaired. Instead, fans are asking a very different question. What does the future look like for each member of the family now that they've chosen separate paths? For Janelle Brown, many viewers believe that future looks brighter than ever. Unlike earlier seasons where much of her story revolved around managing conflict, balancing family responsibilities, and trying to hold everything together, her recent public appearances have reflected a different energy. Whether she's spending time with family, traveling, working on personal projects, or simply sharing moments from everyday life, supporters say they see someone who appears more confident and at peace. Of course, every public update only tells part of the story. No one outside the Brown family knows every detail of their private lives. Still, the overall impression many fans have taken away is that Janelle has embraced this new phase with optimism rather than regret. One reason so many viewers connect with Janelle is that her journey feels relatable. Throughout the years, audiences watched her put the needs of others ahead of her own. She often approached disagreements calmly, avoided unnecessary drama, and focused on finding practical solutions. That personality earned her a reputation as one of the family's most grounded members. Now, fans say they're finally seeing Janelle prioritize herself, and many believe that's long overdue. Across online discussions, viewers frequently describe her as someone who has rediscovered her independence. Instead of trying to preserve a family structure that had become increasingly difficult to maintain, she's focused on building a life that reflects her own goals and values. That shift has inspired many longtime followers of the series. Another major topic among fans is Janelle's close relationship with her children and grandchildren. Over the years, the Brown children have grown into adults with careers, marriages, and families of their own. As that happened, Janelle remained deeply involved in their lives, celebrating milestones and supporting them through important moments. Many viewers believe those relationships have become one of the strongest foundations of her new chapter. Photos from family gatherings, holiday celebrations, and special occasions often generate enthusiastic responses online, with fans commenting on how happy and connected she appears. For many, those moments represent something more meaningful than simple family updates. They symbolize stability, they symbolize growth, and they symbolize the idea that happiness doesn't always come from holding on to the past. It can also come from embracing change. Meanwhile, conversations surrounding Kody and Robyn continue to attract enormous attention. Every time a new episode airs, a trailer is released, or an interview is published, viewers analyze every comment and every interaction. Some fans believe Kody has become more reflective as the family's structure has changed. Others argue that the biggest challenges remain unresolved. Opinions about Robyn are just as divided. Supporters feel she has often been blamed for problems that developed over many years and involved many different relationships. Critics believe her marriage to Kody changed the family dynamic in ways that ultimately couldn't be repaired. The truth is that every viewer brings a different perspective to the story, which is one reason Sister Wives continues to inspire passionate discussion season after season. Another fascinating aspect of the series is how much it has evolved. When Sister Wives first premiered, the central focus was on explaining how one plural family functioned day to day. The show introduced audiences to a lifestyle many people had never seen before and followed the Browns as they navigated everyday challenges together. Today's version of the series feels very different. Rather than telling one shared story, it now follows several individual journeys. Christine has built a new life after remarrying. Meri has embraced new business opportunities and personal independence. Janelle is creating a future centered on family, personal growth, and new experiences. And Kody and Robyn continue adapting to a much smaller family structure than the one viewers first met years ago. That transformation has changed the heart of the show. Instead of asking whether plural marriage can work, many viewers are now more interested in watching how each person reinvents themselves after major life changes. One of the biggest reasons the Brown family story remains relevant is that it reflects challenges many people understand. Relationships evolve, families change. Children grow up, people discover new priorities, and sometimes the future looks completely different from what anyone expected years earlier. Those universal experiences allow viewers to connect with the family, even if their own lives are very different. Whether someone agrees or disagrees with the Browns' choices, many recognize the emotional complexity involved in starting over after decades of shared history. As discussions continue across social media, fan forums, podcasts, and entertainment news outlets, one message appears again and again. Many viewers believe Janelle looks happier today than she has in years. They point to her confidence, her growing independence, and the way she seems to enjoy spending time with the people closest to her. Of course, happiness isn't something that can be measured from photographs or short public updates alone. Only Janelle truly knows how she feels. But the positive response from fans suggests that many people see this chapter as one of personal growth rather than personal loss. At the same time, fans remain curious about what comes next. Will the Brown family continue appearing together for major milestones? How will relationships evolve in the years ahead? Will old conflicts eventually give way to reconciliation, or will each member continue moving forward on separate paths? For now, those questions remain unanswered. And that's part of what keeps audiences watching. Every season adds another piece to the story. Every interview offers another perspective. Every public appearance sparks another round of conversation. Then there's the future of Sister Wives itself. The series has already transformed from documenting one large plural family into following several independent lives. Many fans now say they're just as interested in watching each person's personal journey as they once were in watching the family function as a whole. That evolution may ultimately be one of the show's greatest strengths. Instead of ending when relationships changed, the series adapted. And by adapting, it found a completely new story to tell. As for Janelle Brown, one theme continues to stand out above all the others: resilience. She faced enormous changes. She navigated difficult decisions. She stepped into an uncertain future, and according to many supporters, she emerged stronger than ever. Whether she's exploring new opportunities, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying a quieter pace of life, Janelle appears focused on building a future that reflects her own choices. For many longtime viewers, that's the most inspiring part of her story. But before we wrap up this discussion, there's one final question we still need to answer. What does all of this mean for the future of the Brown family? Could relationships continue improving over time? What role will Kody and Robyn play as the family enters yet another chapter? And why do so many fans believe the biggest surprises may still be ahead? After years of emotional highs, heartbreaking lows, and unforgettable moments, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The Brown family that viewers first met is no longer the same family we see today. The original dream of one large plural household has given way to several individual journeys, each shaped by personal choices, changing priorities, and the lessons learned along the way. For many longtime fans, that's bittersweet. There's nostalgia for the early seasons when holidays, family gatherings, and shared celebrations brought everyone together under one roof. At the same time, there's also a growing sense of hope as viewers watch each family member build a life that reflects who they are today rather than who they were years ago. And perhaps no one represents that transformation more than Janelle Brown. Looking back, Janelle's journey has never been defined by dramatic confrontations or attention-grabbing headlines. Instead, her story has been one of consistency, resilience, and quiet determination. Season after season, viewers watched her focus on raising her children, supporting the family financially, and approaching difficult situations with patience. Even when disagreements became increasingly public, she rarely appeared interested in escalating conflict. That calm approach became one of the reasons so many fans respected her. Today, many believe those same qualities have helped her navigate one of the biggest transitions of her life. Instead of dwelling on what ended, she appears focused on everything that's still possible. For many supporters, that's the biggest takeaway from Janelle's story. It's not simply about leaving a relationship, it's about rediscovering independence, it's about recognizing personal worth, it's about finding joy in everyday moments, and it's about proving that a new beginning is possible at any stage of life. Those themes resonate far beyond reality television. They're the kinds of experiences many people can relate to regardless of their own backgrounds. That's one reason Janelle's journey has inspired such a positive response from viewers. At the same time, it's important to remember that every member of the Brown family has experienced these changes differently. Kody Brown has spoken publicly about the challenges of watching multiple marriages come to an end. Robyn Brown has shared her own emotions about seeing the family evolve in unexpected ways. Christine Brown has embraced a completely new chapter following her remarriage. Meri Brown has focused on personal growth, business ventures, and creating a future on her own terms. Each perspective tells only one part of a much larger story. And because viewers see only selected moments through television episodes, interviews, and public appearances, there are undoubtedly many experiences that remain private. That's worth remembering whenever discussions become heated online. One thing that hasn't changed, however, is the incredible passion of the Sister Wives fan community. Every new trailer sparks thousands of comments. Every interview generates fresh theories. Every episode inspires countless conversations across YouTube, Reddit, Facebook groups, podcasts, and entertainment websites. Some fans continue debating past decisions. Others focus on what the future may hold. And many simply enjoy following the personal journeys of people they've watched for more than 15 years. That level of engagement is rare in reality television. It shows just how deeply audiences have connected with the Brown family story. Looking ahead, there are still many questions that only time can answer. Will future seasons continue focusing on the independent lives of each family member? Will relationships between Kody and his adult children continue to improve? Could old wounds eventually heal? Will the Browns find new ways to celebrate important family milestones together, or will their lives continue moving in separate directions? Right now, no one outside the family knows those answers, and that's perfectly okay. Life rarely follows a predictable script. Families grow, relationships change, people evolve. Sometimes those changes are painful, sometimes they're empowering, and often they're a little bit of both. If there's one lesson many viewers have taken from Janelle Brown's journey, it's that personal happiness doesn't always come from holding on to the past. Sometimes it comes from embracing change, from letting go of expectations that no longer fit, from investing in the people who bring peace rather than conflict, and from believing that it's never too late to create a different future. Whether you're a longtime Sister Wives fan or someone discovering the series for the first time, that's a message that extends far beyond reality television. As the Brown family's story continues, one thing seems certain. The next chapter won't look like the last one. Instead of one household trying to navigate plural marriage, viewers are now watching several individuals redefine their own lives. For some, that marks the end of an era. For others, it's the beginning of something even more meaningful. Only future episodes and the family's own public updates will reveal what happens next. Until then, fans will continue following every interview, every social media post, and every new season, eager to see where this remarkable journey leads. So, what do you think? Has Janelle Brown found the life she always deserved? Can Kody and Robyn adapt to this new reality? Do you believe the Brown family will ever become closer again, or has the family changed forever? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed today's update, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Sister Wives news, updates, and in-depth discussions. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.